Thank you for joining me on this journey through history. I hope you found these images as fascinating as I did. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to give it a like, share your thoughts in the comments, and subscribe for more content. I look forward to seeing you in the next video.